Hi everybody, this is Jimmy, and welcome back to Jimmy Does Knitting. This is my YouTube channel where I pick a topic and we discuss. Today is just a knit and chat. I've been on holiday for 2 weeks. I don't have a lot of stuff to show you, but I do have a lot to talk about because a lot is happening in my knitting world right now. So let's get into it. If you like this, please subscribe and like the video. You can find me as Jimmy Does Knitting on Ravelry and YouTube. I usually on Ravelry only post my sweater projects or like something really complicated. I don't post everything on Ravelry, but the stuff I do post is really quite comprehensive. Couple things to mention. I have all of my patterns for the month of June 2024. They're not on sale, but 50% of the proceeds will be going to the Ruth Ellis Center. I talk a little bit more about them in a previous episode. The links are all down below to both my Ravelry and the Ruth Ellis Center if you want to support that. I don't have many patterns, but if you want to help me and them, I think that's great. I was on Fiber Chats. That's another thing. Some of you may be joining me from that audience. Thank you. Welcome. It was really fun. Arena was super sweet. She was lovely. She reached out to me and I said, of course, why would I not be on your show? And we just like got it done and it was really nice. So I will leave the link to that episode below for your reference. And then the last thing of like the admin is my hair. So this is not my natural color, which you may or may not know about. I've had my hair bleached for the last couple of videos. So the deal was I filmed the last videos like over a month ago maybe, and I bleached my hair so that I could dye it purple. And when it dyed purple, it would fade to like a silvery color was the plan, right? So I have missed the window of the purpleness, but I will try to put like pictures somewhere here of it more purpley. Like I said, I was in Spain for 2 weeks. It faded in the sun. I had enough dye for like one round and like a touch up, and then that's it. And then now I have some in conditioner or whatever. So this is my hair for a bit. I really need a haircut between the damage and whatever. It's getting long. Anyway, that's next week. That's happening to me next week. So let's get into it. I have a little bit of I'm looking down there because I have some notes. But let's go over what I'm knitting on, what I brought to the table. I am sitting on my beanbag. I don't know if you can hear that or not. So if there's rustling, that's what's happened. It's a giant blue beanbag. Sometimes I sit up here and knit on it, and I think it's really nice. So we're a bit lower down. We're a bit more casual today. I am wearing my Polar Hoodie prototype. I don't know if you can see this. This is not the exact pattern, but this is like the one that I wear. I know the rust color samples in all the shots, but this is the one I wear. This is the first one I did. It's a little bit off scale. I redid the hood and the sleeves a little bit, but it has this beautiful welt right here that goes all the way along. I'm not sure if it's picking up on camera or not, and down to the side. And the way that that's achieved is, well, a lot of ways, but it's really cool. It's knit from the back and flat up, around, and down, and then you knit on the hood and cuffs, and that's how you make the Polar Hoodie. It's so nice. It's so comfortable. Do I wear my designs? Yes, I designed this for myself. I just thought it was really cool, and I wanted to make it for somebody else. I am knitting with some Vovo from Retrosaria Rosa Pumar. This is the color 26. It's just black. Surprise. It's black. This is the Campancia sheep. It's like super springy. It's a 4-ply, but for some reason this feels like extra springy. I really like it. It's like soft. It doesn't really feel rustic. It's just like a nice yarn to work with. And currently it's making this fabric. Do you see this? It's just a basic brioche. This is my Wind Whistles by Les Garcons. I'll tell you, I have more about this in other episodes, but it calls for a DK weight yarn. This is a sport weight yarn. And it's just like a simple brioche sweater. I say simple brioche. Brioche is not hard, but it's time consuming. And I'm just making like a sweater because I've wanted a plain brioche sweater and I've been eyeing this pattern for a while and I was like, let's just do it. This is my second ever brioche project. Is it perfect? No. Is it wearable? For sure. So I will discuss more of this later. I have finished the body finally because with brioche you like essentially knit everything twice, which is fun. And we're on a little sleeve. So I will be working on the sleeve. I'm doing it on my small circulars. It's Chow It's their interchangeable stuff because that's how I like to roll. So yes, that is admin, hair, what I'm working on. Let's chat. So I went to Spain. I went with my family. And so it was my mom, my dad, brother, sister-in-law, and then Mr. does knitting. And we spent a couple days in Madrid and a couple days in Barcelona. And it was really nice. We stayed at some very fancy hotels. We ate some really good food. We saw a lot of things that I thought were like really cool. I have spent some time in Barcelona before. I had an ex that lived there, so I was really familiar with that, and I was able to do a bunch of cool things. If you look at my Instagram, you can see I did the Mila pullover by Sari Nordland, which is this beautiful cable sweater. It took forever to knit, but it's amazing. And I did it with some Spanish wool, and then I got to take like pictures and stuff with it in front of Casa Mila, which was the design that it was, the piece of architecture by Antonio Gaudi, who it was based off of. So that was really nice. My mom hated my hair because it was purple, but we got like a nice beach day. It was really good. And I did not knit at all. Like I didn't knit. So that's part of the reason why I'm backed up. I had like 2 weeks of not knitting. Mojo was sunk. It was out. And I just was like walking everywhere and enjoying everything. It was great. And I didn't miss it, which is really weird because that's the first time since I've started knitting, which I've had that. But as soon as I got home, it was just like, boom, like back to knitting full force. And I have a lot of projects planned. I cast on something today and I plan on doing another swatch today for something to cast on tomorrow. And then I have like some other stuff coming in, which will be very exciting, and we'll talk about that in future podcasts. But yeah, so I just like the knitting hit me full force again, which was nice. It was good to sort of like honor the ebb and flow of my crafting and what I thought. I also had like a couple of really strong ideas, so I used a lot of my scrap yarn, which was quite nice, to do some swatching. And I had a couple of good swatches. I do a lot of swatching because I like to like design and play with things. There's a whole one of these, it's not this one, it's below and I'm blocking it, full of like swatches of, some are design swatches and some are just like regular sweater swatches. But you know, I think swatching's fun. It's a good palette cleanser. It's a way to get creative. And then you can like finish something and it takes like an afternoon. So I think that that's all right. And you know, my swatches are never just like stuck in that. It's either a texture or some play with yarn or some colors or something like that. So I would really been enjoying that. What's been happening? So I had like holiday and then I came back, and then like as soon as I came back, it was my 1 year anniversary of being unemployed. I quit my job a year ago because it was necessary, and there's just nothing out there. There's nothing happening. So I've, you know, been building up my knitting a little bit and seeing where this community takes me and all of that sort of thing. And I also have a birthday coming up. It's not a big birthday, but it's like enough of a birthday, enough of a moment to take a little bit of stock and try to reflect what I want to do and how I want to do it, or where I want to go. I'm thinking, you know, it's been a year and I couldn't find any work, that it's time that I leverage something in my life to like make things happen, as opposed to like waiting for a job to appear. Like really, I mean, I've been applying to all the jobs, you know, I've been hunting for it and talking to people and all this other stuff, but really kind of like make your own luck. So that's mostly what I wanted to discuss today. And I think a lot of that started with this YouTube. So my Instagram, when I first started this, was just my personal Instagram. I only have one Instagram account. I don't have a personal one. I just have the Jimmy Does Knitting one. And I have this YouTube. And what I wanted to do was get some community, which I think that I have. Not a huge one, but it's some community. And I think that the people are very loyal and kind. And it's quite nice. I've met some really cool people. And just talk about knitting and my feelings about knitting and stuff about knitting because I'm obsessed and Mr. Does Knitting doesn't want to hear about it at all anymore. So this is a really good outlet to vocalize some of that stuff. And I really enjoy it, so I'm going to continue this. But like, it was let's do it and see what happens, see how into it I get. And now it's taken a while to build, a long time. And I think I need to reframe what I want to do and see like where the terrain is now and how I want to proceed. And I think it's quite clear that my aim isn't like not to be an influencer. My aim is to still build community and talk about knitting. But it's more about like a tool for other things as well. Like this is, my knit and chat. I don't always have a knit night to go to, that sort of thing. So I really feel like this is my time to, I guess, express myself creatively and show other people that. And with that, I think what I need to try to do is maybe get more designs out there. So I tried it. I did like some hats and a cowl and they sold okay. I've done some garments, the Troy Boy, and it's hard to sell garments, especially male designed garments. And this is a unisex thing, but the Troy Boy was a male pattern. And I just it eats up money. Like I haven't made my even investment back, nonetheless, all the time and effort that I put into it. So I'm a little bit hesitant for garments. So I've been trying to submit to magazines, and I have one that bit, and that's already been done and sent over. I don't know when it's going to be published. And then other people, I keep on trying that, but I can do accessories, I think, all right. So I might be trying to design some more like accessory patterns so I can just get like a little bit of mass, and it's easier because then I could like do 1 or 2 sizes. I don't have to grade up to 10 sizes and do all the math, and the pattern writing's a lot shorter, and I can, accessories aren't a full brioche sweater or a full cable sweater, and they take less time. So I think that might be a good step to making my own luck happen. And then in the meantime, try to do something for who knows what. But I also I think the thing that fascinates me about the knitting world at the moment is like the connections with the designers, with the dyers, with the yarn companies, that sort of like higher tech level, like where people discuss yarn twists and composition and like weird sort of master hand knitting sort of things, I guess, is what interests me. So it's not about like how I've done this really simple sweater like variation 12 times, but like can really get into the nitty gritty and people that like have done it before. I've connected with a couple of people recently that like have really opened my eyes, and they've been super friendly and kind. And I think that whereas before I couldn't see a way to at least start a design thing aside from like posting on Ravelry and hoping that my Instagram stuff works, I think I can, in my mind, see a little bit of a way ahead for like both self-publishing and establishing those connections, because you usually need like one in or somebody to notice you or something like that. And I think that at the current moment, I could see where that could happen for me, which I think is very exciting. But I have to realize that people get approached a lot, even if I do like know their friend or whomever. And a lot of these bigger names, people want stuff from them and stuff. So like if I do it, I'm just doing it to like honestly establish connections. I have a knit date with, somebody or a couple people coming up that is just like, I don't want anything from you. Like, let's just knit and chat. Like, that's really honestly all I want because they're more local. And I just want more local people to talk with. But also, if I do leverage connections for other people and stuff, I need to come up with a clear plan. Like, it can't be just like, oh, guy from Rowan, I'd like to publish with you. Like, let's make this happen. It's like, no, I have, these 5 sweater ideas. I'm thinking about these yarns. I can do this in this timeline. This is the target, demographic or whatever, like a more specific ask. And I think over these next couple weeks, and I need to clarify my intentions. Like, I listened to this astrologer, Jessica Lanyado. She has a Ghost of a Podcast, which is amazing and like a lifesaver for me. And she says like a lot of times with her questions is like, you have to clarify the questions. Like, you can't manifest if you don't have something specific you want to manifest. Or like, the point being is like, the more specific the ask from whatever, and from myself in this case, I think the better I'll be able to guide myself in that direction and I guess set the pieces appropriately, because I think that they're all there, but I'm not convinced that I see the full picture yet, and I just need time to like sit and do it. That's part of what this podcast was, is me like freeform talking, which is what everybody loves, I'm sure. But yeah, so I think that maybe I need to start taking this a little bit more serious. I've been trying to keep it as like fun and a hobby and see where it goes, but I really think, yeah, this might need to shift into something more strategic and more something else. I'm not really quite sure. Those are like my general thoughts about what I'm doing and where I'm going. How that manifests on the channel, I'm not really quite sure. We'll still be doing the episodes with a theme because that's what works with me and I like to talk about it. Some things obviously I'll be able to talk about, and some things not so much if I have like publications or whatever. But yeah, I mean, things are happening, and I think that that's all right. There's I'm trying to figure out what I can say, what I can't say. I've talked with a couple of yarn companies recently that have been very encouraging and helpful. So I'm, some it's a very slow approach, but some I've been more direct with. And that has changed how I've thought about things in a good way, and about what I can do. But also I have to realize like knitting itself is very slow, and taking time to shift and build this will also take some time. I have to like literally finish some things before I can start other things. I have my new cast on today. I have all my pride knitting, which is this sweater and another sweater and some other stuff. And I have whips that I haven't even showed you. And like that stuff needs to be finished and cleared before I can welcome in new opportunities and new things. But because it takes some time, I mean, and we're not talking like 5 months or anything. We're talking like I could probably go through a lot of this within like a month or so. But because it takes some time, let's say, then I have a little bit more time to think and figure out sort of how I want to move in space, and then maybe my next move. So that's kind of where my head's at the current moment. I wanted to come to you because, especially with the 17 small gay designers video, or LGBTQ plus designers video rather, that has gotten a lot of good reception, and people need to do more of that. And I've made connections with a lot of those designers because of that video and Instagram post, and I think it was like a really wonderful thing to do. I said this in other podcasts, but I'm saying this again now. I want to do another one of those, but I don't know confirmed people or whatever, so I need your help. I'm crowdsourcing because I've already done a bit of a deep dive, and it's hard to tell from a pattern somebody's how they identify, I guess. So I need people that are in the know, specifically more female representing people and non-white ones. I think we had a good mix in the first one, but the second one, the designers I have mostly so far are just like gay white dudes, which great. I want to help. I want to give their voice. I think it's really great, but also the queer community is so much broader and diverse than that I think that it's really doing a disservice if I'm just like 10 white dudes to knit for pride, you know? I think that that's not great. So I want you to comment and leave me some suggestions. I know that, I mean, it was really cool because some people were like, oh, this is like some perfect patterns that I never knew existed, or these designers who are doing some really fun things are there, and I would have never known because these are not, the big five that you see all the time. So I thought that was great. I really enjoy doing that sort of thing, and I want to do more sort of things. Also, like Taylor Earle of Wool Needle Hands had a Ravelry roulette. She does these things with just men's patterns. And it was interesting to see how frustrated she got with a lot of it, because they were like men's patterns, but it was like a cowl or something that was completely like not showcased on a male's body, and how hard that could be. And then, I mean, there were a couple that showed up that were actually really beautiful, but in general, men's patterns are not as exciting, imaginative, fun to do as other ones, which is why I modify, patterns written for a standard female a lot, because I just find it enjoyable and I know how to make it work and change things, which I try to discuss with you because I think that that's really important. I think I do have a lot of male viewers that also have some of these questions and are wondering like, how is that possible? Or, as opposed to getting a poor fitting garment that's not necessarily designed for you, but you spent a lot of time on. So that's some of that. I think I'm going to end it here. I think that that's good enough. You don't need to hear all of my thoughts or me ramble for forever. So thank you for joining along. The deal is I'm going to try to get another video filmed maybe in a couple days. So the week after this goes up, you have another one. But I don't have really anything new to show you at the moment. So thank you for joining. As always, be kind to everybody else. Be kind to yourself. This Pride season, be kind, especially to people of color and the trans people in your community, and support them. And yeah, buy my patterns, buy their patterns, support them whatever way you can. It doesn't need to cost money. And I will see you all later. Bye.